All right, single leg squat in gait. Basically, the problem with the weight room is we have a lot of squatting motions and then we have a lot of hip hinging motions. And those are to train motions that we find in nature, but also our most primal movement is the sprint, where you are going to get both of those things. So we might as well start combining those right now. What I mean by that is we are going to be combining that hinge with this squat. And if you can see, that's the same exact thing that we would see during a sprint. We want to almost treat all of our exercises in gait like we are next to our best friend about to run a race. That's going to help you find the primal activation that will help us use our body the way it was designed to. So here, I'm going to lean on this chair, but ideally in the weight room, I would set up a bar on the squat rack about my chest height so that I can use that to lean on. What I'm going to do here is lean forward primarily with the opposite hand. And then I'm going to first just think about this left leg that's floating, reaching back as far as I can, trying to touch that back wall while getting into this squat, and then I slowly come out. So now you think, if you do this straight up in this plane, right? It might not feel the best, but the more you add this rotational movement to it, here and then out, just like my left toes are almost pointing in and I am reaching out, but while I do this, I cannot let my head float outside of my foundation, which is just on this one foot. So a good cue for me is while I'm leaning on this bar and reaching back and getting more and more into this squat, I'm going to try to control where my head is directly over my foot. I'm controlling that with these obliques, with these rib cage action. Another thing that I'm constantly thinking about is this stomach vacuum. So each rep here, all the way down as much as I can without pain, and then out to about here. And this is the way that I like to start this exercise. After a few proper reps, stuff is going to start burning. So then it's like, how do I redistribute that back into my core, using my breathing to calm everything else down and to continue pushing my limit and achieving failure. What we want to do with this single leg squat exercise is eventually finish it out with that jumping action that we would do if we wanted to really cram on somebody. So I would go from here, right? I might still be leaning on something, get into that slowly, use those same cues, and then as I slowly progress through this rep, I am then extending everything I have on the front side of my body, trying to bring this left hand back, using my obliques right here, controlling my rib cage, and then crunching in towards this left knee. It's hard to balance. Ideally, I would probably grab the bar at that point, try to extend like this.